Hey everyone, Streamers103 here. Sorry for not much YouTube content. I've really been slacking. It's been really warm down here in Norway, and I just have not felt like doing anything. Anyways, someone sent in a Perth replay. That's someone being Taizaruts. So I pretty much went like, it's a Perth replay. I gotta show it off. It's a damn Perth replay. It's going to be absolutely resident sleeper, but I don't care. It's gonna be amazing. Anyways, what's the deal with the Perth? Well, it's the smoke screen that matters. Let's see if we can actually get the details up. Nope, we can't, but it lasts a good while. It's, each puff only lasts 10 seconds, I think 7.5 or 8 seconds. I forgot the exact details of it. With the upgrade, you definitely should use the upgrade. In fact, this is the ship that you should be using Hydro, Smoke, and Plane upgrade on. I mean, like, your A is crap, so there's no real point in trying to mess with your anti-aircraft capacity. I mean, you can go manual, but no, like, you need concealment. You need, well, you don't need, but you want IFHE, because IFHE obviously makes your ability to just dish out the damage a lot better. Because your firepower isn't good, you've got 8 barrels, 2x4 turrets, so 6-inch guns. You do get HE, you do get AP, but it's not like Royal Navy Super AP, it's not, it's common shell special, I guess, so, for the most part, you might as well just spam common shell. Here come the planes. These look like the who knows? Since I think both get tier 6. I'm actually not sure. I don't remember. I think both actually get tier 6. But we're plane spotted. Hopefully the plane will go away. And come on, 3, 2, 1, poof. Run spotted. It's kind of nice. Currently our team's not coming to this flank, so we might as well just go join the giant blob. That way we might take a bit less damage, be forced to use our smoke early, and there you go, both fighters are up. Torpedo bomber, double torpedo bomber plus a dive bomber. That's likely the Tuiho that's down south, and the Ryujo is now intercepting stuff from our Tuiho, who is actually stuck. Let me just have a look. Yeah, our guy's stuck, but a ray gun nails one, which is actually very good for our carriers overall, but not the best fighter trade possible, but hopefully our carrier does get a panic effect going. Looks like all the enemy strike planes are down on the south, so it's a concentrated attack down there, and I don't think there's any defensive AA. Yeah, there's potentially 2 defensives. Yeah, that's it. Potentially 2 defensives. The Bayan AA is tough, QE's AA is tough, New Mexico's good enough, especially against this kind of aircraft, but we're kind of biding our time. We need to... if we want to do anything, we're gonna have to at some point close the distance and actually do something. I'm pretty sure our fighter group should be able to trade decently against that, despite being from a carrier tier lower. And there you go, he does wipe it out, which is very good for the 3-home. I think that was a... I'm not sure, but I think that was a Ryujo playing kills. That's good for our carriers. Anyways, decision-making wise, normally the northern team blobs south, southern team blobs north. It's just the way the map goes. It's just how it is. Need to be a bit careful about that island. We need to stop and drop, otherwise we're going to ram the Nürnberg into the island, and that's probably a bit unfortunate for him. And especially if that Nürnberg spotted, we're going to be taking fire with that. But for the moment it's fine, no planes are currently near us. We can kind of go behind an island and poke the Warspite, but we're spotted right now. So we do need to be careful about that. I don't think we have concealment expertise. If our concealment is 9.8, I'm pretty sure concealment expertise puts that down to 8.8 or something like that. So... that could be rather unfortunate. We're spotting rather early over here. I'm not sure if we have priority target or not. We'll see if we have IFHE or not, because that's a Warspite with 25 everywhere. We do have priority target. Someone did aim at us. Hopefully they don't get a shot off. But I definitely would consider moving forwards. Do we have the double plane skill? 3, 2, 1... No, it does not appear that we have the double plane skill, which is something I definitely recommend. Because our plane has a 4-minute duration. Well, 3 minutes if you don't... Well, 2.5 if you don't have the upgrade. Which is definitely something else I recommend you running. Same goes with smoke screen upgrade. We're running a pretty stock Perth over here, so it's a bit unfortunate. Once you get the coal to purchase that, I definitely recommend you do so. However, it does seem we do in fact have IFHE. No Hydro trigger there because, there was no real need, because, we kind of knew where the destroyer was. We had an expectation of where the destroyer was, and that was in front of us, so the bet kind of paid off. But reversing now, if we're going to reverse, I definitely recommend using Hydro. Perfectly angled to the Warspite, he doesn't get to do too much damage to us. A little bit on the underlead there. These shells are going to fall rather short. But I definitely recommend the usage of Hydroacoustic Search right now. And no, we don't not have IFHE. Otherwise, that would have done a lot more damage. And with only about 25 seconds, 30, actually, no, yeah, about 25 seconds now left on the smoke screen before we really have to abandon it, well, it's not really nice, and it looks like the Nuremberg failed to realize that we're in a Perth. So, our smoke screen follows us, but, that could have been a wipe from the Warspite. He did have his plane up there earlier. We can single launch torps. We're launching them on half-lead marker in case he turns in, or eventually figures out he might want to slow down. But we need to rapidly advance forwards right now because we're definitely going to get spotted. But we can get forward enough before Warspite can traverse to engage all guns. And ooh, if we kill that Fubuki with torpedoes, that'd be a massive spot of luck. But I think he's going to be a bit too late. We're not going to be able to nail him, which is a bit unfortunate. But we should have engine ahead flank behind the island so that we don't get clipped. But it's only an overpen, it's not bad. We can load AP and rush the glass pit, and honestly what we should be doing right now is to seriously consider a way out of this one. Nuremberg didn't want to push the glass pit, which is a big mistake from the Nuremberg in a way, but you know, it works out for him because he doesn't die to torpedoes. That actually were launched by the Fubuki, mind you. But yeah, we're going to be stuck out here with no smoke screen for a quite a significant while, and we don't actually want to sit broadside to a baguette, and we don't want to over-reverse in front of a Warspite. Currently, the Warspite can only really poke our tail, so it's not going to be an amazing salvo for him, and I think that's actually some of the cruisers behind there trying to poke. But by this point, the Graspeer has kind of run, so focus on the planes, and we should be trying to advance forwards and get ourselves behind the island and out, because we can't really sail out here. We're going to be plane spotted, but we just got to take the risk and get out of there, because our smoke doesn't come up for another minute. And if we sit there in the Graspeer hydros, well, we're going to stay permanently spotted, and I wouldn't say it's an optimal situation for us either. Our plane's coming home, but carrier's doing some spotting. Need to be careful in this situation. We can't really torp that. It's up to the Nuremberg to try to nail that. We can load AP here and blap the Graspeer as he comes around. It's 19 everywhere, so it's fine. Reversing here is never a good idea because we're going to expose ourselves first. We're going to sit here poorly angled to Graspeer. He can lull pen our tail. Thankfully, the Graspeer is shooting, I don't know, potatoes, because he absolutely donked that one out. He also donks his second shot by not leading correctly, so thanks to our ridiculous acceleration, we get to live. Very big misplays over here, in my opinion. We should have just tried to extract from this area. We should have either shot at his bow or had HE loaded. AP loaded, I mean. We might potentially have been able to cause some damage. Fubuki's coming in now, which is all the excuse we need to GTFO. Get ourselves behind an island. Conceal ourselves from the rest of the team, or at least cover ourselves from the rest of the team so they can't properly shoot us. Bayan thankfully misses us. Really, really poor leading from him. Fubuki is now stuck in front of a Nuremberg. If he has hydroacoustic search, that's going to be nice for us. We do need to make sure that we do not... Yeah, we're screwed. But at least we get a smoke screen coming online soon, so our secondaries actually nicked that kill. But we definitely should have just gone here to here. We would have been safe from all that stuff over there. We wouldn't have to sit here getting a shot there. Definitely use the smoke screen right now. We've got a 4-5 or 5-5 concealment firing from smoke. If the Warspite's going to broadside us, there's no real reason for us not to shoot AP at him if he's broadside, but he's not, so, well, we're not going to do any damage to him because we don't have IFHE, it seems. I'm actually not sure at this point. Let's see if we can follow a few of these shells. If they hit his bow... we might actually have IFHE. Yeah, we might actually have IFHE. Let's see what this does. Honestly, I can't tell at this point. Warspite tries another MLG, but we realize that we go forwards. Good reaction there. Nah, I don't actually think we have IFHE on this captain. I mean, I don't know, but hey. Anyways, our second smoke is here. We might be able to poke a little bit of damage out there. Unfortunately, we couldn't finish the Warspite. An AP salvo there potentially against his upper superstructure, or if we had full damage salvos, we potentially could have done it. Congo IFHE doesn't matter because it's 35mm the deck, so we got to land shells either on his tail 19mm like we just did there, or the frontal 19mm, or the superstructure of 16. I think it's 16 or 13, I forgot. I think it's actually a tier 5, it might actually be 13, because standard is 19, so it could be 16, I forgot. It's beneath low tier, so it doesn't actually grab enough of my attention. We do get a fire on that, which is quite sweet. But for the moment, we might as well just sit here and poke. The rest of our team's kind of coming along again, so we're finally able to get some reinforcements. We're capping their base, but New Mexico and Dallas against Spy and QE. Let me have a look at their health. We're kind of fine, but if the Dallas, like, I don't know, if it perfectly angles and our guys get a bit of bad dispersion, we might actually be in trouble. So that's a bit out of range right now. So, yeah, but our smoke screen's expired, so we got one more left. We can try to, find ourselves a position to get a bit closer. Our plane's up in 1 minute, and our smoke's up in 2. So at this point, it's really a matter of trying to get ourselves into a better position. If a team wants to blob up in middle, they're kind of putting themselves in an awkward spot. And realistically speaking, the team should try to get rid of this. Because that way our guys can kind of go around, flank around, and just envelop them instead of basically leaving a New Mexico and a Dallas on their flanks. And this Bayern's getting absolutely murdered by a carrier and he's not even killed much. I think it's the Independence trying to defend. That QE is probably about to have a really, really bad day down there. So this game is... Let's have a look at the players. We've lost 2 Tier 6 battleships. They've lost 1, so... Well, we're going to lose another one. This guy's going to die. Our Bayern over there is doing okay, but their stuff's also reasonably healthy. So at this point, we're going to have to seriously get some damage out, either through our carriers or through the rest of the team or through something, because currently we're on the losing end, absolutely. You know, even on the points, we're losing, but absolutely on the ships, we definitely are losing, because we're down a lot of top-tier battleships, and that's never a good thing. Now, QE in the distance, some of the other stuff loitering around. The Congo wasn't too low HP, Bayern was rather far behind. They do still have some of the stuff down south. And there we go, our southern flank is completely collapsed, so our middle flank is dead, and this game is lost. It's already GG. We could potentially have, try to use some of the islands to poke. And remember, until we launch our plane, we're not going to have the range. Equally, that means we're not going to be getting spotted from farther away, and that's also quite useful. QE still moving up. We could try to farm that, but without concealment expertise, we're not going to get any invisible torpedo drops on that, which is a little bit unfortunate, because we're going to need the multiplier of torpedoes, the damage output that they deal, to actually be able to pick up enough damage to even have remotely stand a chance to get through this. And our carriers are going to have to pull some serious weight, but currently our carriers are kind of faffing around and not really doing much. We're on 12,600 health, which is not really favorable of an engagement condition for us. QE gun turret reverse is really, really poor, but hey, if it's going to turn them the other way, we might as well take advantage of that and poke for whatever we can. And okay, no, honestly, I don't even know if we have IVHE or not, because I can't properly see where these shells are going, but judging by the damage output, we do, and that's probably why we don't have concealment. So yeah, need to lead a little bit more. We're trying to poke on the rear end, trying to nab a fire on that, but I just suggest he's on half HP. IVHE will melt him fast enough. And there we go, we're just missing horribly. If you're not certain of someone's speed, either turn off track select the target. I mean, I do it for that. One of the reasons for that, I mean, I get nauseous with it turned on. But it also helps in figuring out stuff like this, because you no longer have the game stealing input from the player. Although it's a personal preference deal, you can obviously learn how to check that. But the obvious thing to do if you're not certain of someone's movement speed when they flap broadside to you is to just swap to your torpedo tubes and see what's going on. Now, unfortunately, we're not going to be able to spot anything in the distance there. We're not going to be able to spot the QE, so we have to launch a plane, and even then, the Perth plane is actually bugged. It only can spot 11 kilometers, so we need to be aware of that. Now, there are some torpedo bombers flying past. Hopefully these... they are the Ryujos, so there is a good chance that, he can just manual drop us inside a smoke. We're creeping forwards at quarter speed, which is about the normal thing you'd do in a Perth. Hopefully the carrier is going to try to drop on the Independence, because the Independence is spotted right about now. And it looks like he has seen the Independence. That probably means that the QE is going to start turning guns to engage that as well. Our Independence is kind of in a bad spot. He's too far away from the 3-hose AA bubble, and the rest of our team is in a really bad spot as well. Hopefully the QE will fire main battery at the carriers and reveal himself for us to shoot as well. In this case, our plane's going to be on the wrong side of the ship, so it's kind of up to surface to detect that, or a plane, but I think the planes are going for something else, so that's not really going to happen. But QE being QE, we can absolutely melt that, and the 3 shatters are landing on the gun turrets, which is why they're not really achieving much. Do get a second fire on that, but we need to aim ahead, try to land on the center area and aim on his deck areas instead of trying to land shells near his gun turrets. There's already full fires there, so we're definitely under-leading our salvos there. Look at the QE's armor, you'll notice that it's 25mm pretty much everywhere. IFHE will shred that with no problems whatsoever. Bayern, on the other hand, is quite a bit more of trouble, because the Bayern has 35 and 38 areas, which means we're not going to do anything to it. Now, we do get a little spot of luck. We do get the kill on that with an arsonist on top of actually getting a concealment reset. However, we might as well just sit here and shoot the Bayern right now. The game's already lost. Might as well try to get some additional damage out of that. There's no way we're going to live through this one. The enemy team's already collapsing the envelope. Could potentially try to close the distance and get some torpedoes off. Looks like Congo is trying to turn turrets to engage, so if anything, we bow in towards the middle of the group and try to do something there. The other option, of course, is to attempt a perfect angling. Against a buy-in, perfectly angling is actually, to an extent, viable. His guns are sizable, his dispersion is mediocre, and I mean, against only 2 guns, of course, if he citadels us once, we're screwed. I would not consider launching my portside torpedoes, because that's kind of awkward, especially because he's just going to go behind the island and he'll safely dodge them all. So if anything, we take the risk that we don't upfront die and we don't poke the Congo, so that we have a small chance we might get around here to try to drop some torpedoes. Continuing to engage, the Legate Vicineri is going to be able to spot us if we're in the open. I probably would have poked on the Baguette. I would not launch them like that. He's never going to sail flat broadside in that outwards going direction indefinitely. If anything, I would have tried to save them until it gets closer, because our plane's about to go down. Hopefully the Congo doesn't get ridiculous dispersion and kill us up front with a stupidly lucky salvo that he probably didn't ever deserve. But that does mean that, well, with us dead, the Buy-In's unlikely to take any of these torpedoes if he's got any sense that we likely launch them. And it seems that he might slightly be aware of them. I'm not even sure. But at this point, if it just turns out right now, he should be reasonably safe from the salvo. But it seems like he might actually sail into 1 if we get a little bit of luck. If we might catch 2. But the Independence is going to have to live. Which, in the typical sense of luck, he doesn't. So, unfortunately, the last torpedo obviously wouldn't have changed the outcome of the game. Our Independence actually picked up 42 plane kills, which is not a bad deal for him. A couple of strafings against some of the blobs would not have done anything bad for him. Good XP from there. As for us and our decision making, which was the thing primarily being asked for, there wasn't really much we could have done differently there in terms of picking our targets. Focusing on 25mm armor stuff, if we have high HE, and it definitely did appear that we did. I mean, we did HE damage and a lot of it, so definitely would say we do have IFHE at the end of this one. I mean, you can always correct me in the comment section below. IFHE means that, well, we can't pen that. We can't pen, let's see, we can't pen that. He didn't even do anything. But we can HE spam this for a lot of damage, that for a lot of damage. There's a lot of damage potential buff for us to farm with IFHE. So focusing on killing those battleships off is generally the better thing. As for our positioning, well, ending up in the middle of the map was kind of fine, but we definitely should have attempted to extract. But the main positioning problem was, of course, the rest of our team. The battleships were not competent enough to put themselves in a useful position, so the enemies, well, the giant shit blob from the enemy team just, well, did what shit blobs do and shit blobbed, and they got away with it because our blob didn't do anything and died. So that's really all to say about that. There's nothing too fancy to say about this. If you do have the coal or the resources, or you get lucky with the super containers, I definitely do suggest, if you do want to play the Perth, that you use at the very least a smokescreen upgrade. The hydro upgrade is very nice as well. We could have used the hydro in multiple situations earlier that could have made our lives a little bit easier. Also, that Warspite was definitely trying to MLG us, and you can see the guy did actually make rank 1, so we got a little bit lucky. One of the salvos fell just short. If that had flown like a couple of meters farther, then that could easily have been the end of our game right there. But it didn't, we live, so all is fine. Anyways, hope you guys enjoyed this replay cast. Sorry I've been slacking. Maybe I'll highlight some of the Omni-Clan Battle games, at least the ones that were of any interest, and upload them to YouTube as well while I slack. It's all too warm. I mean, technically the weather forecast is saying it's like 28 degrees, but it feels like it's 38 inside somehow, so hey, well, here's life. But yeah, take care. Hope you guys enjoy this, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Bye!